Well, congratulations on the victory. You've had a few minutes now to sort of sit and digest. How are you feeling about your performance and the finish?
I'm really happy to have been fighting in France, which is kind of my home ground. I'm really happy to be fighting here. A lot of families and friends were able to join. You know, it's like the country next door, so it's really amazing, both French-speaking countries. So I was really happy to be able to perform, you know, in front of my crowd and the French crowd.
A lot of people talk about the crowd and they ask all the fighters, but curiously, do you feel that energy when you're in there? Does that spur you on, and do you feel like you can get something from a crowd that's so behind you?
Yes, this crowd was amazing. You know, you can hear them backstage. You know, every time the French guys were fighting, they were booing each other, the opponent. When they were like scoring and doing something, you can hear my coach say, "Is there a train coming here?" You know, it's like no, that's the French guy like moving their feet on the stomping their feet on the ground. So it was really amazing, you know.
Yeah, and the opposite side of that, do you think it can hurt the opponent? Do you think they think they can go in there and take the crowd, but when it's really the boos really start raining down, do you think that will have an effect on some people?
You know, whenever I fought Paul Craig in London, I felt that, you know, I was, first of all, before entering, you know, like there's always a few people like that are able to see you, right, when you're just next to the curtain. And then I was like looking down on the floor, being focused, and then I hear, "Switzerland!" Then I look up, "Fuck you!" Then I'm like, "Motherfucker, go fuck yourself," you know. And I go in, you know, and they ooh, you know, booing. So you know, it's also fuels, you know, it's fuels for the energy for the fight. So it can work both ways.
Did you think you were going to get the choke tonight, or were you looking for the knockout and you just took it when it came, or did you think that was the finish you were going to get?
I took it how it came, but I also put a lot of emphasis on my ground. Now I've been training in All-Star now for my third camp. I feel really great. The first two camps were back-to-back. I just came, it was like 8 weeks before the fight, so full camp. A lot of volume, you know, 3 to 4 training a day, really hard. Training with Khamzat, it was really tough, you know. And he put a toll on the body. Then I was 2 weeks off vacation, come back again another camp. Felt a little bit overtrained, you know, but fought. But now with the off seasons, being able to train now, I can feel the progression, work on my techniques, understand all the concepts they can propose, and now you can see that in my fight.
Last one from me. I know this is your night, so I don't want to talk about him necessarily, but you mentioned training with Khamzat. When you train with a guy like that, camp after camp after camp, is it something interesting that you can compare yourself to his wrestling, his grappling, and see your own progression?
Of course, you know, because once you're able to protect a takedown, just stand back up against this guy, you know you're going to be able to do that against everybody else, you know. Just the input he puts, the volume, you know, and the intensity he brings all the camp, it's really amazing. So now he's training in Abu Dhabi. I'm going to be also following him, you know, during the last phase of his camp, preparing for his next fight. So I will also be really happy to see what's next. Thank you.
Volkan, over here.
Yeah.
You were originally supposed to fight Azamat Murzakanov. I'm wondering, how much did the game plan change for Bogdan Guskov?
I actually focused really on myself this camp. It didn't really matter who I was fighting, but definitely both of those guys were strikers, so it was fine for me. Anyway, I was able to work my striking, my wrestling, you know, but most of all, I work on my skills, my skill set, everything I was lacking. I tried to put a cover, you know, into it, and now, you know, you can see now the result.
And just run me through the finish. You hurt him quite bad, then you got him to the ground, and you choked him. Talk to me about it.
Yeah, I felt like the phase, you know, sometimes you run for a knockout. Every time I fought, you know, I rocked on Kalaev, I rocked Jimmy, I rocked Krylov, I rocked all those guys, you know, but sometimes, you know, it just inches away. You see the punch, the left hook, like going like that away from the chin, and misses away, not following up with a kick, not following up with something, also not following up with takedowns, you know. And this is also something I try to put now, emphasis on surprising the guy, you know, disappearing in front of his eyes, going for the leg, you know, doing something that they're not waiting for, and that's also something that happened, yeah.
And at Media Day, I asked you how you expect the crowd to be. Did it exceed your expectations, how loud and how in support of you they were?
Yeah, definitely, you know, because every time I was looking down the crowd, left and right, you know, everybody was cheering, standing off their chairs, and it felt amazing, you know.
Thank you and congratulations.
Yes,
Volkan, là?
Yeah.
Ça fait longtemps. Félicitations.
Merci.
So my question is, this particular moment when you tagged like numerous times, multiple times, and he's been like, you know, flowing somewhere there. And you've been trying to switch the techniques in between. So some of the people may have seen it as, may have taken it as a mess or something. But what was going through your mind when you know you barely have him, but not actually yet?
Bogdan, you mean? This fight?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, it's part of the process. You know, the fights never happen. You know, everybody has two hands, two legs. Everybody's tough. You know, this is the UFC. You know, there is level to this fight. You know, there is top 10 guys, and there is also a newcomer like you saw with Bogdan. You know, but you can never underestimate somebody. You know, now it happened like that. You know, I was able to correct all the movements, put a counter to every of his movements, and I was able to pull off the finish.
So how do you particularly manage? Do you have any technique not to fire up too much, but still be in control and, you know, logically think?
Yeah, like my coach told me also to take my time a little bit, like not take my time, like wait for the third round or something, you know, but sometimes I want to rush for the finish too quick. So maybe trying to be a little bit more mature, work my stuff, work my tempo, and, you know, be able to pull off the finish.
Ça fait plaisir, merci.
Volkan, là, c'est vrai que tu avais l'air d'être dans une dynamique même pendant la semaine avant le combat où bah déjà tu as eu une super pesée, tu t'es senti bien, ça s'est passé tranquillement. Même pendant les séquences aux entraînements, c'était ultra fluide. Et ça, du coup, c'est le fait que tu commences à vraiment trouver ton rythme, même au All-Star. Enfin, à quoi est-ce que tu attribues le fait que là, tout avait l'air parfait, que ce soit pendant la semaine, le camp peut-être, et le combat?
J'ai commencé aussi ma préparation beaucoup plus en avance déjà avec le poids. J'étais vraiment au-dessus de ma catégorie. J'étais à 117,5. Quand j'ai recommencé l'entraînement, je me suis cassé la main donc, contre Krylov au premier échange. J'ai dû, j'ai eu mon time off. Ça a pris du temps pour que la main se remette correctement. Je suis parti en vacances, c'est la Turquie, beaucoup manger les kebabs, tu vois. Non, j'ai pris beaucoup de poids, donc j'étais vraiment 117,5. J'étais vraiment gros, vraiment lent, donc 117, ouais. Donc il a fallu du temps. D'abord, l'UFC a voulu me faire combattre à Londres. Je pense pas que ça aurait été possible avec le poids. J'ai dû, mais de toute façon, je voulais faire Paris, donc c'était parfait. Donc j'ai travaillé surtout mon cardio de fond avec tout ce temps, puis ça m'a permis aussi de me sentir beaucoup mieux pour tout l'entraînement. La fight camp était parfaite. J'ai eu un très bon nutritionniste, Swiss Training System, qui m'a suivi. C'était vraiment parfait. Je me suis senti bien. La team, mais aussi, elle était comme sur des roulettes. On a vraiment préparé tous les concepts de A à Z, et ça s'est senti donc aujourd'hui.
Et là, le fait d'avoir cette performance-là, alors c'était quelqu'un qui n'était pas dans le top 15 et qui débarquait, mais du coup, tu montres la différence entre un top 10 et quelqu'un qui n'est pas classé. Qu'est-ce que tu ressens, qu'est-ce que ça te fait te sentir quand tu dis, bah voilà, là, j'ai remontré à l'UFC qu'il y avait 2 classes d'écart entre moi et des gens qu'on me mettrait qui ne sont pas classés?
Comme je l'ai dit avant, il y a des différences dans ce jeu, il y a des différences de niveau. Il y a le top 10, il y a le top 5, tu vois, il y a les anciens champions, mais il y a aussi surtout le momentum. Il y a les moments vraiment où tout le monde est en forme. Il y a des moments aussi, les gens ils sont plus en forme, mais ils enchaînent les combats. Une première défaite, deuxième défaite, troisième défaite. C'est vraiment une question de momentum des fois. Il faut sortir de là ou bien casser justement les séries de victoires des autres. Mais des fois, c'est compliqué d'en sortir et vraiment, c'est des fois compliqué d'y arriver. Mais là, je me sens bien, je suis vraiment content. J'ai envie aussi de continuer maintenant dans cette zone, dans ce ressenti, et je me sens vraiment bien dans mon équipe. Merci.
Volkan,